personal property, yes, that is jointly owned within the marriage. But when it comes to your body, regardless of your marriage, no, you like you don't sign over rights to your body.
Really? So
it's not a hard concept.
A joint relationship is not a thing? Like you don't
What?
give yourself away. You don't give yourself away in marriage. Like when you get married with somebody, you don't ask for a father. You don't ask for a father to give their daughter away to another.
That's just a patriarchal condition. That's just a patriarchal tradition.
No, it's still kind of the same thing. It's like giving your child to
Jake, do you believe
so
that
you're saying my father owned my body?
I'm saying that your father provided resources for you, and that the respect of your father chooses who. I mean, for 18 years, yeah, pretty much.
No, you don't own your children, my guy.
Yeah, I think Jake, you do.
I'm trying to ask this question. Do you believe that grape? Wait. Do you believe that marital grape is real?
I don't believe it's real. No, I don't.
Oh my God.
Well, that's all you have to know right there.
I think that's insane. That if you do get into a relationship with someone, you get married with them, and you're having marital grape is actually happening, then you're obviously making bad decisions. What
does that mean?
What percentage of that is actually happening? Please give me like a statistic.
It doesn't matter the percentage. That's not what we're talking about.
Women literally had to fight for their rights for marital grape to be recognized as a crime.
Marital grape is used so they get more power in the relationship. Women use all sorts of things to get financial gain, custody gain over children. No, that's not. That's actually true. If you look it up online, people say. Can you give me a source on that? Yeah, any freaking pro athlete ever that's had to deal with a case regarding a woman trying to get financial gain because that athlete makes more than them. That happens all the time.
Wait, what case?
I can give you one. Let's see, the Danny Masterson thing. That's a perfect example. So Danny Masterson, that 70s show, he had five females come through, and all it was testimonial, right? All of it was testimonial, and then just by word alone, they had leverage over that man, and the fact that there was more than one person coming forward, and it's not like we haven't seen that before, where women try to punish a man just because a man has done something slightly wrong to them. Have you ever seen John Tucker?
Are we talking about his conviction?
Yeah, his conviction. There was no evidence for the conviction. It was just based off of testimony.
There were 3 victims that came forward.
Okay, sorry, 3 victims. My apologies, but
these were from incidents that happened, I believe, in 2000 and 2003.
Yeah,
after
that's
the
just one
incidents
example.
Happened, 1 second. After the incidents happened, not only were they reported to people in Scientology, there was also police reports filed.
That's fine. Yeah, anybody can file a police report. That doesn't make it happen. That doesn't make it true. I could say right now that somebody graped me right now. I can say John Doe graped me. I can file a police report just because a police report was filed.
Didn't receive any money. These women didn't receive any money.
Even if it's not for money, it could be for attention.
Well,
it
you
could
just
be for
said
revenge.
that's why.
I'm saying in a lot of scenarios, it's for financial gain, for property gain.
Well, I asked you for an example of that. Then you went to professional athletes, and now you're on Danny Masterson.
Well, that was the first
so none of the criteria that you previously gave is applied.
I don't keep up with every athlete or every rich person that tries to.
Well, but these are claims that you're making, and I'm asking you to substantiate them, and then you're kind of pivoting to other things that have nothing to do with your claims.
But you're also sitting here trying to deny the fact that people do things that are messed up for monetary gain, and that is not the case. Your opinion on that is not.
The claim that I disagree with is that women use grape in order to have financial leverage. That is what men say, so that they can essentially grape women without consequence. Danny Masterson was found guilty in 2 out of the 3 charges. And the third charge that he was not found guilty in was because she was his girlfriend.
Yeah, based off of testimony.
And he was sentenced to 30 years. It is very much evidence. Testimony is evidence.
Really? Okay, so you're telling me right now, just because somebody puts their hand on the Bible and testifies that makes it so? Really?
Testimony,
there's so
What do you
people
think
out there that are not religious.
1 second. What do you think eyewitness testimony is?
somebody can make that up. You're acting like people don't make up things for monetary gain.
That's what you're acting like right testimonies are not evidence. It very much is. I'm
saying
evidence.
that it's not credited. There's not enough credit for it. I don't give enough credit to testimony.
There is credibility to testimony.
If you really think society is
and
that
I think
honest,
you actually don't know. One second. I think you actually don't know the specifics of the Danny Masterson case because you've said a lot of incorrect things.
I do know that there was no evidence for the case, and I know it was all based off
testimony. What would be considered
evidence? Evidence would be like rape kits, text messages, people like a recording of or maybe not an eyewitness, like a camera catching him trying to do what is this that you consider a essay? Him giving them a kiss that was unwarranted, something along those lines.
What do you
like
mean
maybe
a camera? Do you think like he filmed his assaults?
No, I'm saying if you go out, if you're in a relationship with somebody, you don't just sit inside all day every day, do you? Like, I mean, you could.
Well, only one of the victims was in a relationship with him.
Okay. My point being, though, is that people do things for monetary gain, whether it be for attention.
But that's not true in the Danny Masterson case. None of his victims received any kind of financial compensation.
They did. They got to see somebody that they did not like get put away.
That's not financial compensation.
It doesn't have to be financial. It could be emotional.
That's what you said.
It's emotionally satisfying. I'm not saying that they received anything from him. They didn't have to receive anything from him for there to be monetary.
That was your whole premise.
Right.
No, that was. I never said that it had to be just from.
You're just saying such harmful shit. The courts found him guilty. It's not like it was just the girl. They found him guilty for what he did. So I don't know why you're like ignoring that the courts did that. He's still yelling into the screen. He doesn't even know he's muted.
Ooh, I got a tip. That was cool. You're acting like people don't get convicted of things all the time and get released because the evidence wasn't enough. Like,
what is the percentage of rapists that are convicted?
Rapists that are convicted. I'm pretty sure it depends on when they got the case. I don't know the statistics on that. I know that the statistics of women being essayed versus women is 1 in 6 and men is 1 in 10. I know that much.
I've heard that's incorrect. But again, that doesn't have, like, I asked you what percentage of rapists are convicted. Do you even have a guess?
I would say like a very, very, like under 1%, probably less than 1%, like 0.5% of them, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
Because
so if
there's
it's
a
such a
backlog
small
of like
percentage, then why would anyone make a false claim when even when claims are true,
because
they don't get convicted?
Have you ever okay, here's a good example for you then. I can give you proof right here that it's a thing that women do this. So if you've ever seen the movie John Tucker Must Die, right? This guy, he went around and he cheated on girl after girl after girl. And what happened in that movie? So the name of the title is John Tucker Must Die. What did he do?
Are we living in a movie?
No, just listen to me real quick. Just hear me out. So basically what you're telling me is you're acting like women don't go and try to punish men for crimes that don't meet the punishment that they're trying to provide. When there's literally a movie
what
out
I'm
there,
saying
and there's
is,
several
one
cases
second,
where...
let me actually make my claim rather than you just kind of straw manning. What I'm saying is that overwhelming majority of the time when someone says they have been raped, they have been raped.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
It is. The most liberal estimate for false allegations is 8%. So even if we took that as to be the accurate number, that's still 9 and 10 are telling the truth.
You're basing it off of statistics, if I'm not mistaken, correct? You're basing it off of statistics?
Yeah.
Yeah, statistical data. Like,
yeah,
Jake.
So that's cool.
Wait,
I like statistics. No. Statistics are cool, you know.
Jake. This is the thing. He was not just convicted once. He was convicted twice, and you still don't. And wait, you think both of these women are lying, and then the courts were in on it to just convict this man?
Do you know how many of my exes get together and try to act like I'm a bad person, yet I go to church every day?
Well, you are a bad person, so I'm sure a lot of them do.
You know that it's a thing that people try to come together to try to act like they're better than everybody else? It's called,
Jake,
what are they?
The things that you've been saying, I am not surprised they don't like you. Like,
no,
I'm really not
doing
surprised.
better than them anyway, so it doesn't matter to me what they like and don't like. It's
Jake, you don't even think that a husband can grape his wife. You are the danger.
I'm saying that it's not possible, but I'm saying that the chances of it being the chances of it actually being a thing is absolutely crazy. They
so
give
wait, are you going to retract?
They have
are you going to retract?
They know enough about each other. They know enough about each other. Man and woman know enough about each other when they get married to go ahead and know that this person's not going to do that a year or 2 years later in the relationship. They're not just going to get with somebody unless you're getting with somebody that you already know is a bad person, and that would kind of be on you, really. Because that you
victim blaming.
Know something's going to happen. That person doesn't really follow the law or
you're
follow
just
or
like
respect
continuing to perpetuate grape culture.
You're
and grape
trying
myth
to
acceptance.
act like the victim for women, and it's not the case. It's sad. It's like something that's portrayed
you don't know anything
about
what you're talking about.
It's really sad.
You're literally a man women should avoid.
Yeah, like Jake, are you going to retract? Are you going to retract? Are you going to retract what you said? Because you said that marital grape doesn't exist. Are you going to retract that?
I think it's sad that you're playing the victim card for just women.
How is this playing the victim card?
I think it's sad that you're a grape apologist.
For real.
It's sad. You can have as many people on your live as you want. You can promote it all you want, but at the end of the day, we're not going to pity you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's no point.
You might find somebody trying to pity you so they can.
You are a bad and dangerous man.
Agent, you're just up here throwing a little temper tantrum because you can't think. You can't intellectually have a conversation with me because your little boy brains doesn't even know what
It's not something I want to have an intellectual conversation about. You attacking
because you don't know anything. You don't know anything. That's why you're up here saying, "Oh, you're single. Oh, you're 40."
So much.
That's what you have to do because you know that you are inferior to me.
More people than you could ever.
So remember, I give you your mic and I can take it away. 600 people aren't here to see you, Jake. Let's make that clear.
Fiona, glad you pay to be viewed. That's great.
Shh. This is not hard. If you're up here just to be a dick, go be a dick somewhere else. There's plenty of other men. Why are you? Oh my God. And also get a better mic.
That iPhone 4S ain't working out for you, bro. You need to go ahead and update it.
That's funny as shit.
It's not funny.
You know what's really funny, Jake, is men like you who come up here know they are inferior to me because you need to come up here and try and push me down so that you feel that we are at an equal level. This is how you build yourself up, is by putting other people down. How inferior do you have to feel inside in order to come up here and do this?
Why would I feel inferior to you? My girl looks way better than you, first of all. I don't live in some shitty little house that I'm looking at in the background.
This has to do with your own self-esteem.
Look at that shitty ass background. You see that light that's above your head? It's dirty as hell. I can see it from here. That light that's right above your head right there out in the hallway? Yeah, you live in an old ass house, lady, I can tell. That's why.
What's an old ass house?
An old ass house is like 1950s, 1960s.
No, this house was built in 2007.
It doesn't look like it. You need to keep up with that shit. That's funny.
Jake, you're just spiraling. Do you have anything? Because honestly, this isn't even working.
I hope you find yourself a husband before 48. Let's put it like that.
I've already been married. Why do I need a husband?
Good luck. Oh, that just proves my point.
Your poor wife doesn't even.
You don't know how to get along with men, is what you're telling me.
My God, that high pitch ringing is just terrible. Engage with the conversation or leave. Oh, I think he just exited the app. He doesn't actually know how to drop.
That's crazy.
Your followers, that's what you did, right? You started up on TikTok, you promoted yourself a little bit. If you had 55K followers, there would be way more than. And then,
can you not click my profile? Can you not click this button and see how many followers I have?
Yeah, I did. I saw 55K. It doesn't matter.
Great.
Just because you have 55K followers doesn't mean they're 55K legit followers. That's absolutely stupid that you
Go
think
ahead and
that.
start your own life.
I promise you. So you're telling me out of 55K people, right? Out of 55,000 people, there's only 1,000 of those that are online for your shows?
Go ahead and start your own life. Go ahead now. You've been watching Kenzie's live for hours now.
Yeah, I was at
You're
work.
complaining. Go ahead and start your own life. Well, ain't your actual
Why don't
job?
you go start your own live and see how many followers you get, or see how many
I could
viewers
get
you get?
followers too if I paid for them, you fucking loser. That's why you're
Go
single and you're
ahead and
fucking
start.
40.
Let's go ahead and start.
Why
your
don't you
own
get
life.
caked up before you go live next time, like you always do? And then you're out here
Ooh,
trying
that's
to act
fan.
like you're so transparent, but you got to cake your face up right before you go live, right? But you're
Wait, so which is it?
So
Should I need to get
right?
caked up because I'm ugly and I need people to
You
watch?
are, you
or
are.
is it because
It is.
I'm not transparent, even though I'm not wearing any makeup or
You're
makeup?
not transparent. Oh, you're full of shit. You're just salty towards guys because you've had a failed marriage. Don't you think that's a little? Are they here to support you so you're not gaslit? So you can gaslight people that come up into the panel? Or?
Can you define gaslight for me?
Yeah, gaslighting is when you sit there and you don't take any accountability, basically.
That's not like gaslighting.
What is your definition? What is it? I think it's funny. The last debate you guys couldn't handle me. So listen, unwanted kiss. That is not SA. You give consent over your body during marriage, and if you disagree, explain to me why if a woman goes and cheats on a man when they're married, right? They can file for divorce, and normally somebody would get like custody of the not necessarily the children, but they end up with the house, the car, all of that stuff like that. By law, they consider that to be they consider that like your body to be property, not necessarily property of the man, but for you to have given your body to that man, and that man solely given his body to you. Why is it that you get in trouble if you cheat when you're with somebody if your body doesn't belong to somebody else? Please explain that to me.
But unless essentially there's specific criteria laid out in a prenup, then no, you don't receive any criminal or civil penalties from cheating.
Okay, so that's wrong. In 16 different states, it's against the law. It's considered a criminal act. Adultery is considered a criminal act. So your point?
Adultery is a criminal.
Yeah, I thought so.
There's only 3 states that criminalize it as a felony.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's still against, like, it still works in the person that's committing the adultery. It doesn't work in their favor when it comes to like court and who gets what and so on. It doesn't really work in that person that committed adultery's favor. So normally the courts favor the person.
Wait, so if you're just making this a standard that essentially whatever the law says is valid, the law recognizes marital.
Yeah, but my whole thing is like I said, why would they favor the person that didn't commit adultery? It's because they have some sort of legal obligation where that person belongs to. They basically went and got married, and they both consented to each other's body and being somewhat of a...
just because that there's like criminal consequences.
Disagree that if that was the case, then we would be able to give our bodies away without there being any legal consequence in marriage.
You're just
Correct.
coming to legality because there are these laws. Therefore, you have ownership over your partner's body, which is incorrect. Because now there's inconsistency.
I think that's consent, like at marriage. Like so, not only
Marriage
do
is
you
not
ask the
consent.
father for their.
Commitment.
It is. I think it is.
Tell me why it.
I think it's a consent.
Tell me
Consent is
why
an
it
understanding,
ought to
correct?
be.
So like consent is an understanding, right, of what the person wants and does not want. Is that correct?
No, that's not how I would find consent.
So you're telling me consent is not knowledge of what somebody allows and does not allow?
Consent is permission or agreement.
Yeah.
I would say consent is
And so
something
when you
closer
get
to
married,
like a
when you get
contract
married,
rather than an
yes.
understanding.
Yeah, and so when you get married, you guys have an agreement of a knowing of what is allowed and what is not allowed. It is discussed way before you get married. Way before you get married. So you guys come to some sort of understanding, and you guys are on some sort of page with each other.
Have you
now,
heard
if you
of the
decide to turn that
acronym?
page,
Have you heard of the acronym FRIES?
no, I have not.
Okay. Do you think if I'm having sex with my husband that I can withdraw my consent?
I do not agree with that because you're in the process of having sex. So at
Right.
that
Why
point
can't
of
I
saying
withdraw
no,
my consent?
I'm sorry,
Why can't I withdraw my consent?
because it's already in action. It's something that's already
Well,
currently
there are a
happening.
lot
So,
of
like,
things that are in action that can be withdrawn. That's what consent
you
entails.
can't
Is
just
that
so
it's
you're telling
freely
me right now,
given
if I'm in
as
action,
well as
if I'm
reversible.
doing something that's completely illegal, right? And I get pulled over by the cops, and I'm like, oh, I withdraw what I was doing. I didn't give this person consent to have this in this car.
Wait,
That doesn't change the.
So now the act has already concluded. So if I have sex with someone and then 3 hours later withdraw my consent, the act has already concluded. So I can't withdraw consent because it's not ongoing.
Yeah, no. So if you did it 3 hours later, that would make sense. That would make more sense. But then, I mean, at that point, why are you guys? I mean, if somebody was to withdraw consent, I wouldn't be married. We wouldn't be on the same page anymore.
So,
it'd be completely
wait,
pointless.
so if I'm having sex with my husband and we've been having sex for a long time and now it is painful, you're saying I can't withdraw my consent.
No, I'm saying that if you were to withdraw your consent, then he would. I mean, some people try to say that they like they don't give consent at the time of the thing happening, but they don't like speaking. Like, so it's kind of like gestures, basically. Like, it's kind of like you have to read body language very well. Like, some people expect
You
you
just
to
said
understand.
that someone should not be allowed to withdraw consent during sex.
No, not during sex. I completely agree with that. I do
Right.
not.
You are promoting grape.
I do not agree with that at all.
You are. Because if someone withdraws consent, they are no longer consenting to the action. And if they aren't consenting to the action, that is great.
You can't mislead somebody into an action that you say that you're okay with, and then while performing that action.
Consent is reversible.
I'm sorry?
Consent is reversible.
But it doesn't change the fact that it still happened. So even if.
But if I withdraw consent, there is a moral obligation for the other person to stop having sex with me.
Yes, but you could easily go and say, I stopped, and they didn't, even though that person did. And then what?
Wait, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about, do they have the right to withdraw consent? And you said no.
Oh, then. Yes, I apologize. So yes, they do. Never mind. Completely was not.
I feel I've asked you this question 6 different ways, 6 different times, and you've said no, consent can't be reversible. And now you're saying that people can withdraw consent?
So like if you're considering something great, right? You can reverse it, but that doesn't mean that the action was not still done. So like, let's say
That's not what I'm saying. I asked you, can you withdraw consent? And you said no.
Yes, you can.
If you can withdraw consent, then you can recognize that within a marriage, that consent can be withdrawn then.
Yes, but if you do it one time, you expect like body language to be able to be read every single time, especially if there's if you're revoking the right for somebody to do something.
Wait, so now this is completely a different premise.
Okay.
Because you're saying that marriage is a contract where consent is ingrained, and it can't be withdrawn. And now you're saying it can be withdrawn.
Okay. Well, see, I didn't agree with the unwanted kiss part. I've talked to a lot of people, and they don't agree with that. Pro-abortion, I'd like to get into that then. I know a little bit more about that subject than your rights to what is and what isn't allowed with consent, because a lot of people say that no is a full sentence, but some people, like myself or like some women, it's not good communication. Single word, like saying no.
No is good communication.
It's not good communication.
Yes, it is.
Because sometimes people are misleading. So it's not.
No, this is again proponents of like miscommunication theory, which is proponents of grape culture. If someone says no, that means no. Typically, men in this scenario ignore verbal cues and verbal declarations of "I don't want to do this," and then say, "Well, her body language said something else to me."
Yeah, and that's where that comes. Like my example was going to come in. Like, so I have multiple scenarios where one of them being like, if you were to ask somebody where they want to go out to eat, and they say, no, I have no idea where I want to go out to eat, but in the back of their mind they do, and they're being misleading. That happens a lot between like man and woman in relationships. So there's a lot of miscommunication.
It's very alarming to me that you kind of equivocate these other things when it comes to consent to sex or consent to intimacy and romance. So the acronym FRIES is a really good foundation when it comes to consent to sex or any kind of sexual encounter. It stands for freely given, reversible, informed, enthusiastic, and specific. And I think men, like you too, do not take any obligation or duty to ensure that consent meets these burdens.
Well, no, that's not necessarily true. With my girlfriend, I have no problem with understanding if she wants to do something or not do it. I mean, we've got good communication skills. But my issue is there's times where somebody will say something and then mean something completely different, and that's where things get confusing for me. And I'm pretty sure many people.
We want to specifically talk about sexual assault because you're just saying words to me. You're not saying anything.
No, I'm just basically telling you sometimes people say things that they don't mean. That's just what it is.
Men have an obligation and duty to make sure that their partner is giving enthusiastic, freely given consent.
Okay, so in the scenario where you go and you kiss your married partner and it's an unwanted kiss, trying to provide that kiss to pick up your partner is forbidden. It's considered sexual assault. I think I took something earlier where your definition of sexual assault that has nothing to do with a kiss. Essay, my bad.
Yes, it does.
It has nothing to do with a kiss.
Yes, any kind of I would say sexual assaults.
Give me a.
Yeah, so again, I feel like Michaela and I already clarified this for you. An unwanted and a surprise kiss are two different things. But you can, again, easily engage in body language to where your partner is an active participant. So if I want a hug, you can hold out your hands, which signifies I would like a hug. And then it's up to your partner if they reciprocate and engage in the hug. If you want a kiss, you can pucker up. And then it's up to your partner if they engage in the kiss.
It says, so the term sexual contact means touching or causing another person to touch, either directly through the clothing, the vulva, the peni, scrotum, anus, groin, breast, center thigh, whatever, buttocks, any of that, with an intent to abuse, humiliate, harass, or degrade any person, or to arouse or gratify the sexual desire of. So none of that is sexual. A kiss is not any of that. So I'm trying to understand where you're coming from.
I would say, so if we look at RAIN, which stands for, what is it? Rape, abuse, incest, national network. So this is their specific wheelhouse. They define the term sexual assault refers to sexual contact or behavior that occurs without explicit consent.
Yeah, I would even argue that sexual assault falls under if you are verbally making an insinuation that are sexual in nature, like that also is classified as sexual assault.
I can see how that would be like verbal contact and talking about those things would be.
Why is that kiss?
But I just don't see why a kiss would fall in that category.
Do you have children?
Yes, I do.
Do you have a daughter by any chance?
I have a 5-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old son.
Would you like somebody to kiss your daughter without her consent?
No.
No,
Even
right?
if it was to pick her spirits, no.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
it
like
doesn't matter who it was, right? Like, if she doesn't want a kiss from somebody, and it would make her feel very violated after, you would be very angry, right?
Yeah, I would consider that some type of sexual move towards yes. So never mind. I see what you're saying.
Okay.
I didn't see it when I was reading when I was reading the verbiage basically from that definition of sexual contact. I didn't see how a kiss pertained to sexual contact. So that's why I was getting confused.
Because men can usually not see themselves as the role of the oppressor. They can only sympathize if the victim is disconnected from them. That's the only reason why you need interperspective to feel empathy. That's it. Which is sad, but that's
Tiara with the hardcore polite mode.
No, I'm sorry for wasting your guys' time. I'm trying to get a better understanding of definitions and why you guys believe what you believe in. I apologize.
No, you don't.
I'm not for the